Hello guys, this is Shaky Beavs and I'm very excited to talk to you about what my next Road to Soul series is going to be, and it's going to be coming to the channel soon, so let's break it down and talk about what my next plans are. So we are going to do a Road to Moonlight Greatsword build and a run totally with a Moonlight Greatsword, so this is going to be a strength and intelligence playthrough. But actually running with the Moonlight Greatsword, I am going to have to consider distributing points across, magic points, so I can use my Ashen Estus to use the weapon art of the weapon itself, because I absolutely want to use that. It's going to be devastating to have that mixture of intelligence and strength damage that the weapon provides, particularly with its weapon art. I'm also going to have to consider endurance, so I actually am going to have to spread my points more thinly perhaps. But I absolutely think it's going to be a fantastic build to run with, and I'm really excited to use this weapon. The Moonlight Greatsword, as you all know, has carried through every FromSoft game, I think, more or less, starting with Demon Souls, so it is just, one of those iconic weapons that you associate with a FromSoft game. Why I'm most interested in doing this run though, is for the challenge of getting the Moonlight Greatsword with a brand new character, so it will always be a fresh start. I'm not going to do any kind of jiggery pokery, it will be a brand new character. And why I'm interested in doing it is I'm going to have to take on and defeat Dancer right at the start of the game itself. So my plan is as follows, let me talk it through. Firstly, starting class wise, I'm going to go with the Warrior as a starting class, and the reason is I've done the maths. You might be thinking, why are you not going for Sorcerer? But actually, in order to use the Moonlight Greatsword, the requirements are 26 intelligence and 16 strength. So the Warrior starts with 16 strength, so I'm not going to have to put any points in that. And in order to get my intelligence up to 26, I will have to put in 18 points into intelligence. Whereas if I start with the Sorcerer, in total to use the weapon I'll have to invest 19 points across both strength and intelligence, so it's slightly better to actually use the Warrior. And actually the Dancer is not susceptible to low level casters, so it's not going to be viable for me. It's better that I start off with a strength type character and a strength weapon to take on Dancer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kill Emma right at the start to trigger the fight with Dancer right at the beginning. I absolutely am going to have to do some power leveling outside of the actual episodes. I want to keep the episodes like they were in my last series, nice and smooth and succinct and showing you all the cool bits. But outside of that, I'll definitely do some power leveling, which I'll show you, where I'm distributing my points as always, like I did in the prior series. But yeah, so kill Emma. Then ultimately what I'm going to do is I'm not going to fight Vort, and I'm going to have to use an Ember to then summon the Swordmaster. Now the Swordmaster, ironically, is the guy I killed right at the start of my last playthrough in order to get the Uchigatana. He's the Uchigatana wielder just outside Firelink Shrine, and so I'm going to not kill him this time to make sure. Sorry, I do need to kill him, don't kill Vort. And then I'll be able to summon the Swordmaster just outside of the Vort boss area, as long as I haven't killed Vort. And then I'll bring him in as a summons, and hopefully we can take down the Dancer together. It's going to be hugely challenging with a low level build like this. Even if I power level, I'm not going to power level for days and days and days, so I'm going to get it up to a reasonable amount, but yeah, it's still going to be hugely challenging. So we're going to hopefully take down the Dancer with the Swordmaster as a summons, and then I'm going to go straight through to Osiris. What I could do, actually thinking about it as well, is after that I could probably kill Vort to get a level up from him, so get the souls from him, because either way I'm going to have to kill Vort before I can transform the soul of Osiris anyway to actually use the weapon. So probably what I will do is kill the Dancer, then go back, kill Vort to get some level ups out of him, and then I'll proceed to Osiris. So if fighting Osiris this early in the game, I'm not sure how it's going to go. He's not a hard boss, but he has quite a huge amount of health in comparison to some of the other bosses in Souls. So he's pretty easy, but with a low level character I think it's going to be a slog. I don't think there's any summons that I can bring in, so that's going to be very interesting. Once we've done that and hopefully beaten Osiris, we will then proceed to the Untended Graves area, and the reason being is there I can pick up some Titanite scales very early on. So my plan is, if I can kill those 2 crystal lizards, I think it's going to be insanely difficult early in the game, but I think there is a way that I could cheese it by dropping off the ledge and just getting drop attacks on them. I can actually get 4 Titanite scales, and there's 3 in the consumed King's Garden as well before Osiris, so there's going to be a huge opportunity for me to get lots of Titanite scales early on so that I can buff the weapon. And what that will mean then, if all goes to plan, I will then proceed past Fort, go into Undead Settlement, and we will, make a beeline to fight the Cursed Rotted Greatwood so that we can get the equipment needed to transform Osiris' soul. So in short, we will have to fight the following bosses before we can then use the Moonlight Greatsword. So it means basically all the best bosses, from Abyss Walkers onwards, I'll be using the Moonlight Greatsword, so it's going to be pretty exciting. I think I'm going to be massively overpowered early on, which will be a lot of fun. So in order, I'll have to fight Ludex, Dancer, then I'm going to do Vort, then I'm going to do Osiris, and then I'm going to do the Cursed Rotted Greatwood. And by that point we should have a good few Titanite scales to level up the weapon, and we should be able to transform the Moonlight Greatsword from Osiris' soul. So pretty damn excited about this one. I think it poses a really interesting challenge. I'm going to have to play Dark Souls 3 in a completely different order to the way I would usually, so I think it's going to make for a really interesting playthrough in comparison to my last one. So yeah, those are my plans. Obviously we're going to have a mixture of Ashen Estus and Normal Estus, because as I said, I want to use the weapon art. So again, rings are going to be very different. I might have some FP reduction and consumption rings and stuff like that I might make use of. And another thing I want to do is I want to follow some of the NPC plot lines through this playthrough, so again, for you guys as viewers, it's more interesting to watch going from my last series. So I think the storyline I definitely want to follow, if possible, all the way through is Seared Ward of Katarina, a classic Dark Souls character, famous from Dark Souls 1, such such recognisable armour, is such a cool character. So I want to follow his plotline through this playthrough and see where that takes me. So I'm probably going to follow a guide for that to make sure that we meet him at all the key points that we need to. So I'm really excited about this playthrough. I think, as I said, poses a very interesting challenge getting this weapon early on. Totally different order in which I'm going to have to play it, and just a very interesting build, having to distribute my points across strength and intelligence, which is not your typical build for Souls, and particularly Dark Souls 3. So yeah, that is it guys, that's my promo for the next series. I'm not sure when the first episode is going to drop on the channel, but it's definitely going to be soon. So stay involved, stay on the channel, keep your eyes on the page, and hopefully we'll have the first episode up for you soon. Thanks guys for watching, and take care.